We are dealing with set A. In this particular section, I'll talk about IR internal security as well as the economy part. We'll go from behind, starting with question number 100. Okay. In the finals of the 45th Chess Olympiad held in 2024, Gukesh Dommaraju became the world's youngest winner after defeating the Russian player Ian Nepomniachtchi. So, but understand, it was not a Russian player. He defeated Chinese player called Ding Liren. He was the Chinese player who was called the Ding Liren. So this statement is partially correct and partially wrong. So ultimately the answer is wrong. Then Abhimanyu Mishra, an American chess player, holds the record of becoming world's youngest ever grandmaster. This is a right statement. If I remember, I think he was around 12 years of age, maybe around 4 months, 12 years, when he became the youngest grandmaster of the world chess championship. Okay, so this statement 2 is the right answer. Some student who has chosen A, that student is wrong. The second option is the right option. First is the wrong option. Okay. Now coming to the next question, we are going back as I told you. Question number 99. If you see, if I can just maybe increase the size for you, consider the following statements in respect of the first Kho-Kho World Cup. In respect of the first Kho-Kho World Cup, the event was held in Delhi, India. Indira Gandhi Stadium it was held. It is the right statement. Indian men beat Nepal. The statement till here is correct. The Indian men beat Nepal. The statement is correct. With a score of 78-40 is a wrong statement. This is a wrong statement because the score is 54-36. What UPSC has done is they have interchanged the scores of men and women. The women it was 78-40 and men it was 54-36. So eventually only one statement is right and the correct answer would be A only, because they have interchanged the scores between option 2 and option 3. So the correct answer would be A, which is option 1 only. Okay. Then the Lokpal we have covered. Question number 97 again is related to IR. Consider straight from the classroom learning. Consider the following statements with regard to BRICS. 16th BRICS summit was held under the chairmanship of Russia in Kazan. This is a right statement. Indonesia has become a full member of BRICS. This is not what in the 16th summit, this has not happened. It is a wrong statement. Egypt was the one that attended. Iran was the one that attended. UAE was the one country which attended this particular 16th summit of what you call BRICS that had happened. And in fact, one more country called Ethiopia also participated in the BRICS summit. So the second statement is a wrong statement. The theme of the 16th BRICS summit was strengthening multiculturalism for just global development and security is a right statement. So the statement 1 and statement 3 are right. So statement 1 and statement 3, the right answer has to be option C. This is again a international relations related question. We will go back. Let us see. Yeah, question number 96. Consider the following pairs: international years and the theme as per the United Nations. Sorry. As per the United Nations, we need to give the themes also. This is when International Year of the Women Farmer 2026 was not the International Year of Women Farmers. It was related to rangelands and pastoralists. Pastoralis, basically related to animal grazing and basically protecting the grazing grounds for the animals. This was related to that. Okay. Then second, International Year of Sustainable and Resilient Tourism for 2027. So upcoming 2027, after 2 years, this is a right statement, this is a wrong statement. International Year of Peace and Trust 2025 is what they are asking. No, this 2025 was year related to quantum technologies. It was related to quantum technologies. So this is a wrong answer. Okay. Then 2029 International Year of Asteroid Awareness and Planetary Defense 2029. This is a right statement. So statement 2 and 4 are correct. So that is how option should be option B. Only 2 are correct. So this is how only 2 is the right answer in set A for 96th question. Okay. Now consider the following related to AI Action Summit held in Grand Palais, Paris. So this is talking about Artificial Intelligence Action Summit that was held in 2025 in Paris, February. Okay. It was co-chaired with India. Yes, if you remember, the French president was present. The French president was present. Along with him, our Prime Minister, the French president was present. Along with him, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also present. So this is a right statement, and it was held in Bletchley Park Summit held in 2023. This is also right statement. The Bletchley Park and Seoul is in South Korea. Seoul is in South Korea, and this Bletchley Park was in UK in 2023. Okay? And along with other countries, US and UK also signed the declaration. If you have monitored the outcome of this particular declaration, some of you may be aware that America and Britain denied to sign because they had some issues related to governance and national security. So they said we are not going to sign this declaration. So they denied to sign this declaration. So only statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. So the answer should be option A here. Okay, so that is how only one statement is correct there. Okay. Then next question, it is about Gagan. Gagan is that GPS aided geo-augmented navigation system which uses a system of ground stations to provide necessary augmentation. This is basically giving for accuracy for what you call aviation traffic. But it is not only for aviation traffic, but the Gagan satellite feed is primarily used by the aviation sector, but it is not reserved for aviation sector as such. Okay. What are the statements? They are asking us to identify the correct statements related to this. First is, it is designed to provide additional accuracy and integrity. This is a right statement. In the Gagan, the accuracy reaches 3 meters also. That is the quality of the Gagan's accuracy that we get. Then it will allow more uniform and high quality air traffic management. This is also a right statement because they are using it for better air traffic control. It will provide benefits only in aviation but not in other modes of transportation. It is actually a wrong statement because not transportation related. Again, this becomes subject of interpretation because recently Karnataka has used the Gagan satellite data for doing its forest land surveys. So is he talking about only the transportation sector or anything? That is left to our what you call wisdom. But from my side, option 1 and 2 should be correct. But option 1 and 2, if you go with that, option D will be the right answer. If you only consider transportation here, I am sure this would be also available to the naval assets also. So even in that case, this would become a wrong option, option 3. So the answer should be option 1 and option 2 according to my opinion. Okay. Now coming to question number 93. This is what again very important chapter from the question number 93. 93 I have discussed already with in the polity segment, where I said it is the Prime Minister, Chief Justice of India and the leader of opposition who are jury members in the Gandhi Peace Prize selection process. Okay. Now we'll move to question number 92, which is related to BIMSTEC, which is part of your IR syllabus. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technological and Economic Cooperation. Okay. Now, it is a regional organization consisting of 7 member states till January 2025 is a right statement. Now, it came into existence with the signing of Dhaka Declaration is a wrong statement. BIMSTEC was formed not with Dhaka Declaration. If you have attended the classes, it is Bangkok Declaration. It is Bangkok Declaration, right? Now, so this is a wrong statement. This is a right statement. Now, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand and Nepal are founding member states of BIMSTEC. It is related to Bay of Bengal initiative and Nepal was not a initial founding member. So the third statement is an incorrect statement. And in BIMSTEC, the subsector of tourism is being led by India. No, this is also a wrong answer. This subsector related to tourism is not held by India. In fact, India holds the security subsector where transnational crimes we are taking care of. In fact, we are taking care of disaster management also, and energy related dimension is also given to us, but tourism has not been given to India. But I think tourism has been given to, if I am right, it is given to Nepal, not to India. So the only one option is right, almost all are wrong. So the correct answer to this question should be option D. Okay. Now coming to question number 91. 91 is a polity related question which we have already covered. So we will not do the question repetition again. Okay. Now we will go back to few questions related to IR that are there. Though I have covered this in the what I call in the polity segment, though it is related to IR, which organization has enacted the nature restoration law? The answer is the European Union, with an aim to protect the nature is what they have done. Few more questions on international relations. We need to go back little behind. 80 and 79. 80 means we need to go behind. 80 and 79. Yeah, very important. This is how the reading of atlas and following the current affairs becomes important in UPSC. Now, Mallorca is in Spain, not Italy. Mallorca is in Spain and not Italy. Normandy is in France. In world history, you would have studied about Normandy landing, very important campaign which is taught as part of your what you call world history. So this Normandy landing is very, very important. Okay. So now Sardinia is in Italy. Sardinia is in Italy. It is one of the island what you call this thing in the Mediterranean Sea. In fact, Sardinia happens to be the second largest island in the Mediterranean Sea after Sicily. After Sicily, Sardinia is one of the highest islands in the Mediterranean Sea. So in this particular case, all the options have been incorrectly matched, because he is asking you to find out how many of them are correctly matched. That's how the answer is D, none of the above. Moving to the next question, question number 79, which is talking about countries and what are the major what you call resources that they are rich in. First question, Botswana, diamonds. Yes, this is a right answer. Botswana has been blessed with one of the largest what you call deposits of diamonds in the world. Then comes Chile. Chile, they said lithium. Actually, Chile lithium is also there, but Chile is primarily copper. It is famous for resource rich in. After copper, it is lithium in what you call Chile. Now, whether they are asking about the topmost position or the second topmost, we do not know about this. But yes, Chile does have a lot of lithium reserves, but primarily Chile is famous for copper reserves. Okay? Copper is the highest. Then Indonesia, nickel is also rightly matched. So if you consider only the top, then only two options would be there. But if you consider as a resource, this country is rich in lithium. If you consider that, then the answer would be all the three. But the top resource that is available in Chile is copper and not lithium. But however, Chile is famous for its lithium resources also. So we'll take that stand only and we'll consider all three of them as the correct option. Okay? But how UPSC considers, we have to wait and watch. There would be some controversy for sure. Okay? Now, question number self-respect movement, we are not bothered. Then again, this is also not part of our international relations. We'll see if any other question is left. Yeah, one odd question I think here also. Yes, have more than 4 time zones. This is very important from the time zones, though this is not again a pure IR question, but I thought let me discuss this. UK, Denmark, New Zealand, Australia and Brazil. Here you need to understand that Brazil has 4 time zones, but the question is asking more than 4 time zones. So Brazil is a wrong answer. But if you see UK has as close as 9 time zones. Denmark and New Zealand have 5 each, and again Australia has 9 time zones. So this is how the answer should be 4, that is 2. Somebody has marked it correctly. I don't know how accurately that person could get it, but Brazil has only 4. Brazil does not have more than 4. Okay? Now, moving to the next question. This is consider the following fruits. Following fruits, how many of the above were introduced in India by the Portuguese in the 16th and the 17th centuries? In the 16th and the 17th century, if you see the fruits above, papaya, pineapple and guava, these all the 3 fruits were brought by Portuguese only to India. They were brought by Portuguese only to India, all 3 of them. The 16th and 17th century is the answer. So the answer would be all the 3 above. So the papaya, pineapple and guava, all the 3 fruits. In fact, not only this, few others they brought from America, but they brought to India, like cashew nut is one. Then chili is also one. Tobacco is one more item which the Portuguese have brought to India. So the cashew nut, the chili and the tobacco is the additional things, not in the question paper though. The answer would be 3. Okay? All the 3 of the above. Any other questions from IR? I don't think so. If not so, we can jump into the economy part of the paper. Economy came little tricky, not very much tricky though, but little tricky the paper came. We'll see how. Just one question kind of related to IR is question number 21, I suppose, about North Atlantic Treaty Organization. We'll come back to this page. They're asking a question related to North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which was in news for though wrong reasons, but it has been asked as a question, so we need to see. Consider the following statements, following countries, and we are talking about Austria, Bulgaria, Croatia, Serbia, Sweden and North Macedonia. What is the question? How many of the above are members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. If you are a student of international relations, PSA are optional as such. See, generally what happens, we do not by heart the members of such a large organization, because around 32 countries are there in NATO. It is little difficult to remember, but now that UPSC is asking such questions, we need to by heart these in future also. Austria, we know, is not a member of North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Bulgaria and Croatia definitely are the member. Very easy guess, Serbia cannot be the member of the NATO because of the Russian influence in Serbia. Sweden, yes, you know, in 2024 only, I think, Sweden has joined NATO, and if I remember correctly, Finland was the country that joined NATO in 2023, and Macedonia is also a country, one of the recent memberships into NATO around 2020 ke aspas. Macedonia also joined, New Macedonia also joined the NATO. So now the question is, how many of the above are members of NATO? 1, 2 and 3. So only 3. A should be our answer. No, Macedonia is also there, right? Not 3, it is the 4. So 4, that is option B is our right answer. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay? Now we will go back to our economy. We will start with economy. This is the end of our international relations. Now we will start with economy. Will come from behind. 75th question say will come ahead. Then we'll see how the questions have been asked. Little tricky, not though very much. If you apply logic, you will be able to arrive at the answer without much problem. Okay? Now, PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli, question number 70 is what we are going to do now. Yeah, question number 70. It targets installation of 1 crore solar rooftop panels in residential sector. This is a right statement. If you in the schemes, if you have studied, this is one of the aims of this Har Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy aims to impart training on installation, operation, maintenance and repairs of solar rooftop systems at grassroots level. Yes, through the Gram Sabhas is what they were planning to do it. So it is a right statement. It aims to create more than 3 lakh skilled manpower through fresh skilling and upskilling under the scheme component of capacity building. This is also a right statement. So option D is the right answer, because all the statements given above this solar rooftop scheme of the government of India is correct. Very important catch point here is the residential sector. Okay? So if you are aware of this, you would get all the 3 of them correctly. Okay? Now moving to the next question, question number 69. It talks about consider the following countries: UAE, France, Germany, Singapore, Bangladesh. Which is how many countries amongst the above are there other than India where international merchant payments are accepted under UPI? One country I know where it is not accepted is Germany. Other than, I think all of them are right. UAE, France, Singapore and Bangladesh. So the answer should be C, 4, except for Germany, which has still not been integrated on the UPI platform. So the correct answer here should be option C, that is only 4. For the students who are watching it joined just now, we are doing set A, and in that set A we are trying to find answers to the economy part of the prelims paper. Okay, 69. Now moving ahead to the page, question number 68. Question number 68. Yeah, consider the following statements related to this. Question has been picked up from the FAQ page of RBI. We always tell the students to go through this FAQ page, the direct question from the FAQ page of the Reserve Bank of India. Consider the following statements in respect of RTGS and NEFT. We know RTGS is the real-time gross settlement and NEFT is the National Electronic Fund Transfer. Three statements have been given. We have been asked to identify it. In RTGS, the settlement time is instantaneous. That's why the name itself suggests real time. While in case of NEFT, it takes some time to settle the payments. It is a right statement. We know there is something known as packet system in the NEFT. Couple of NEFT transactions are bunched together and the NEFT transaction is initiated. So first statement is a correct statement. Then statement number 2, it is saying in RTGS, the customer is charged for inward transaction, while that is not the case for NEFT. There is no transaction for inward transaction, no charge for the inward remittance. So this is a wrong statement. So it is not a right statement. Then operating hours for RTGS are restricted on certain days, while this is not true for NEFT. This is a right statement because on certain days the RTGS operations are not available. So the answer should be 1 and 3, that is option number C for question number 68 for set A. So this should be your correct option. Okay. Now let's go to next question. Question number 67. It is talking about IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. We know World Bank, we have heard this word World Bank, and we also heard something called as World Bank Group. World Bank comprises of IBRD plus IRDA, IBRD plus IDA, International Developmental Association. Okay? IBRD is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And when we talk about World Bank Group, 3 more entities join: International Financial Corporation, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, one more agency related to settlement of investment disputes. So when all those 5 combined, they are referred to as World Bank Group, but IBRD plus IDA collectively are referred to as World Bank. Okay? Now, what are the questions they given? Consider the following statements in respect of the IBRD, International Bank and Reconstruction Development. It provides loans and guarantees to middle income countries. It is a right statement. IBRD, middle income countries, it provides the loans and guarantees. It works single-handedly to help the developing countries to reduce poverty. It is a wrong statement. Single-handedly nahi hai, because the IDA also pitches in extending certain loans to the developing countries. So single-handedly is a wrong statement. Then it was established to help the Europe rebuild after the World War II. Yes, we know under the Marshall Plan, all these institutions were what you call brought in with an intention to reconstruct the Second World War savaged or damaged European countries. So this is also a right statement. So 1 and 3, option C should be the right answer here. So option C, 1 and 3 should be the right answer for question number 67. Okay. Now, yeah, this is again a question from the what you call, but there is some catch here. I have one query here. I don't know what UPSC will consider. Let's see which of the following statements with regard to recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission are correct. First is, it has recommended grants of 4,800 crores from the year 2022-23 to the year 25-26 for incentivizing states to enhance educational outcome. This is a right statement. If you had studied the report submitted by the Finance Commission recently, this was one of the major and probably the first point of recommendation done by the 15th Finance Commission. Okay? I am not sure of this time period. I am sure of this period. Just have a look at this. But I think this is a right statement. Second, 45% of the net proceeds of the union taxes are to be shared with the states. This is a wrong statement. It is not 45%. It is 41% and not 45%. Okay? Then 45,000 crores are to be kept as performance based incentive for all the states for carrying out agricultural reforms. This is not part of the final recommendations of the Finance Commission. So this can be removed as such. And lastly, it reintroduced the tax effort criteria to reward fiscal performance. It reintroduced the tax effort criteria to reward fiscal performance is a right statement. So according to me, 1 and 4 should be the right answers, but unluckily in the options 1 and 4 is not there. 1, 3 and 4 is there, but this recommendation also I did not find in the report of the what you call Finance Commission. So we have to wait and watch what explanation UPSC gives for this particular question. But according to me, it should be 1 and 4. Both the statements are incorrect here. This is very clearly it is 41% and not 45%. In fact, it was reduced in the 14th Finance Commission only, reduced from 42 to 41. So it maintained that 41%. But this statement I did not find anywhere. If it is there, then the answer becomes 1, 3 and 4. If it is not there, we'll have to wait and watch how UPSC would do the correction here. Okay? Now this is where UPSC at times also falters. Okay? Now question number after 66, we'll move to question number 65. Question number 65, we were talking about here, a country's fiscal deficit stands at rupees 50,000 crores. We know fiscal deficit is equal to total expenditure minus total revenue. Total expenditure minus total revenue. So this is how fiscal deficit we come at. It is receiving 10,000 crores through non-debt creating capital receipts. The country's interest liabilities are 1,500 crores. What is the gross primary deficit? I think the primary deficit should be 48,500. 50,000 crores minus 1,500 crores. The answer should be 48,500 crores. It should be answer A. As simple as that. Okay. Next question number 64. The World Bank warned India that India could become one of the first places where wet bulb temperatures routinely exceed 35%. So this is primarily from the environment and ecology and not from economy. So we will not get into this question. We will leave this question here. Okay. The 63rd and 64 both primarily appear to me as if environment ecology questions. So I will not get into that. Now let's see this question number 61. This is related to economy for sure. Suppose the revenue expenditure is 80,000 crores and the revenue receipts of the government are 60,000 crores. The government budget also shows borrowings of 10,000 crores and interest payments of 6,000 crores. Which of the following statements are correct? So he is giving us the revenue deficit, the fiscal deficit and the primary deficit. So when we know that when we talk about the revenue deficit, we know that the revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt. Expenditure minus the revenue receipt. Then fiscal deficit, as we know, total expenditure minus total receipts, and the primary deficit is equal to physical deficit minus the interest paid, what the interest we pay. So if you go through this, you will come to know that the answer is 1 and 3. The second answer is an incorrect answer. Total expenditure minus total revenue, it should be 20,000 crores and not this. So the answer should be 1 and 3 only. Okay? So this is how the question number 61 is placed in our discussion today. Okay? Now moving ahead, we see question number 62. If you see, this is related to IR. I think I missed on this. One of the questions related to IR, 62nd question. It talks about, it is one of the founding, India is one of the founding members of the INSTC, the International North-South Transport Corridor. We all know it. A multinational transport corridor which will connect what? It is primarily connecting India to Central Asia to Europe via Iran. We know that this has been pending for long time. So the option A straight away is the right answer to this question. Okay. Now coming back to, we'll have to go back to our question number 10 in Indian economy module part. Indian economy question number 10 means we'll have to go back to the main paper. Question number 10. Yeah. Now see, these are all concepts based questions. Question number 10 reads, capital receipts creates a liability or cause a reduction in the assets of the government. Now they are asking which of the following given statements given above are correct. Capital receipts create a liability or cause a reduction in the assets of the government. Capital receipts create a liability or cause a reduction in the assets of the government. Second statement, borrowings and disinvestment are capital receipts. We know borrowing is not a capital receipt. Disinvestment is a capital receipt without any liability coming with it. Interest received on loans creates a liability to the government. No, interest received on the loans extended by the government does not create a liability. So this is a wrong statement. So now what has happened? We have two wrong statements, but the question is borrowings and disinvestments are borrowing, right? Okay. So I thought this is basically they are trying to talk about internal borrowings. No, this is also borrowing. In this case, the borrowing will also become a capital receipt here because large amount of money can be borrowed by the government. Okay? Capital receipts create a liability or cause a reduction in the assets of the government. This is also a right statement. So the answer to this question should be 1 and 2, both 1 and 2 above. So this is one answer. Interest received on loans, it does not create a liability to us because it is the earning of the government. So it does not create the liability. So this is a wrong statement here. Okay? Now, question number 9. Circular economy, direct question from the concept related to circular economy. What is the question? Let's see. Circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases. We know that what is circular economy? The output of one process is the input in the other process. So this is how it creates a circular nature of the economy where the output or the byproduct becomes the input in the other processing cycle. So this circular economy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases, though not completely, but yes, largely it does so. Okay? Then circular economy reduces the use of raw materials as inputs. Yes, because as I told you, over a period of time, you do not have to add raw materials after every completion of cycle because the nature of cycle is circular in nature. The need of this particular raw materials is negated over a period of time. So both the statements are correct and both of them explain the statement 1. So both the statements are correct. We'll come back to circular 3. Statement 3, circular economy reduces wastage in the production process. Obvious reason, as we said, the byproducts and the overall output becomes the input in the next cycle. So obviously statement 3 is also a right answer. So statement 3 and statement 2, both of them support statement 1. So the answer to this question should be answer A. Question number 9 in set A. For the students who have joined us recently, we are dealing set A economy part of explanation in the prelims paper. Okay? Next question is question number 8. What is the matter of question number 8? It says consider the following statement. India accounts for a very large portion of all the equity option contracts traded globally that exhibiting a great boom. Yes, this is a right answer. This was one of the recent reports of SEBI when it spoke about this particular aspect of our Indian the stock market. India's stock market has grown rapidly in the recent past, even overtaking Hong Kong at some point of time. Yes, this is also a right statement. Very recently, this comparison was drawn between Indian stock market and the Hong Kong stock market. The third question option, there is no regulatory body. This is the wrong answer because we have SEBI, Securities Exchange and Board of India, to warn the small investors about the risk of options trading or to act on unregistered financial advisors in this regard. No, definitely we have SEBI. Time and again SEBI takes out lot of reports, lot of instructions to the investors and especially the small investors to safeguard them from the dynamics of large platforms playing in the Indian stock market. You would have heard about reporting obligations. You would have heard about what we call them, we had this participatory notes, no? The KYC norms for the participatory notes, all these things were brought in by SEBI to safeguard the small investor itself. So the option 1 and 2 are right, option 3 is wrong. I mean the third statement is wrong. So from my point of view, the answer should be 1 and 2 only. Then we'll go to question number 7. We go to question number 7, which is talking about, question number 7 is talking about, consider the following statement. Consider the following statement. Consider the following statement. Statement 1. What is the statement 1 saying? As regards returns from an investment in a company, generally bondholders are considered to be relatively at lower risk than stockholders. Generally, what is the statement? Again, it is from the basic concept. NCERT से direct question उठाया है. So understand what is the statement saying? That the bondholders are relatively at lower risk than the stockholders. It is the right statement because when the liquidation of the company happens, at that time, stockholders are the last to receive any money. So before the stockholders, it is the bondholders who get the money. So the statement that they are relatively at lesser risk than the stockholders is the right statement. Then bondholders are lenders to a company, whereas stockholders are its owners. It is also a right statement because stockholders are basically equity holders and bondholders are basically debt holders. So basically they are lenders to the company and the stockholders are owners of the company. Okay? Now statement 3, for repayment purpose, bondholders are prioritized over the stockholders. I told you at the time of liquidation of the company, the bondholders get preference over the stockholders. So this statement is also right statement. So our answer should be A, both 1, 2 and 3, and both 2 and 3 statement are correct and both of them explain the statement 1 correctly. So both the statements are trying to explain the statement 1 correctly, which is the right answer. Okay. Now few more questions left. Question number 6 of Indian economy. India has joined the mineral security partnership as a member. The mineral security partnership as a member, India has joined. This is a right statement. India is a resource rich country in all the 30 critical minerals. It is a wrong statement. India is not one of the countries that has been blessed when it comes to critical minerals. So if you see the kind of minerals what China has, the kind of minerals that Myanmar has, in comparison India does not have, and in all 30 India does not have all 30. If I remember correctly, either 4 or 5 critical minerals which are available in India, and also the we have still not been able to commercialize the process of processing these extraction of these minerals. And so the second statement is right. The third statement, the Parliament in 2023 has amended the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957, empowering the central government to exclusively auction mining lease and composite license for certain critical minerals. This is a right answer. So the correct answer should be option C, that is 1 and 3 only. So question number 6, the option is 1 and 3 only. Okay? Now question number 5, consider the following statement. Statement 1, in India, income from allied agricultural activities like poultry, farming and wool rearing in rural areas is exempted from any tax. So the statement 1 is right, as we know that the allied activities related to agriculture have been exempted from taxation in our country. Okay? Agriculture and allied activities. Then statement number 2, in India, rural agricultural land is not considered a capital asset under the provisions of the Income Tax Act 1961. This is also a right statement. This is also a right statement. but don't get confused in the option. Though independently both the statements are right statements, the statement both 1 and 2 are correct, but the statement 2 does not explain statement 1 according to me. This is a different explanation. This is a different explanation. Independently both the statements are however correct. Okay? Understand this. Next, moving to question number 4. Moving to question number 4. The Reserve Bank of India mandates all the listed companies. The Reserve Bank of India mandates all the listed companies in India to submit a business responsibility and sustainability report. The moment you read the word Reserve Bank of India, you should know that it is a wrong statement. Why? Because Reserve Bank of India has no business with respect to listed companies. It is the responsibility of SEBI. So the first statement is a wrong statement. Next, in India, a company submitting a BRSR makes disclosures in the report that are largely non-financial in nature. This is a right statement. So that is how the option B is the right answer here. So this is where first option say 90% you can come to the right answer here. Okay, understand that. Now come to the third question, which is technically from what we call internal security, but it has been asked in the domain of economy because they connected the ministries here. So this is where they will try to confuse you. The Directorate of Enforcement of the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018, both are right statements. It works under the Ministry of Home Affairs. It is a wrong statement. It is under the Department of Revenue, under the Ministry of Finance. So this is how the first statement is an incorrect statement. Then comes the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence enforces the provisions of the Customs Act 1962. Again, this is a right statement. This is what it does, and it does come under the Department of Revenue, under the Ministry of Finance. This is a right statement. Then comes the Directorate General of Systems and Data Management, where we talk about it carries out big data analytics, basically to assist the tax officers for better policy and nabbing the tax evaders. It is basically a software that creates those blips on the accounts where there is a possible chance of tax evasion. This was added recently on the DG Systems and Data Management. So this is also a right statement. Again, Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. That is why I keep on telling the students in the classroom, do visit these departmental websites of the various ministries, so that at times a question can be framed like this to confuse you in the examination hall. Okay, so this is how you need to read through the what you call the websites of the government departments also. Two more questions. Question number 1 we'll do first. With reference to investments, consider the following statements: bonds, hedge funds, stocks and venture capital. So the question is, how many of the above are treated as alternate investment funds? If you know, these are the alternate investment funds are something which are not traditional sources of revenue, traditional sources of money generation for the economic activities. So they are called alternate investment funds. We know the stocks and bonds both are part of the traditional investment resources, and hedge funds and the venture capitals are not. So the answer should be only 2 here. Option B should be the right answer according to me. Now, the another important and last question with respect to economy is, which of the following are the sources of income for the Reserve Bank of India? Which of the following are the sources for the Reserve Bank of India? So this is where buying and selling of government bonds, certain amount of what you call leverage the Reserve Bank takes. So there is some amount of money revenue generation for it. Buying and selling of foreign currency, yes, in this also the RBI earns some money. Then pension fund management, it does not get any money. There is no lending to private companies which the RBI does. So this is again a wrong statement. printing and distribution of currency notes. Yes, you may ask how you earn the money. There is something known as signorage, because the value of the money and the cost of printing is different, right? 100 rupees ka value of the note, but the cost of printing may be only 2 rupees or 3 rupees. So 97 rupees is the signorage what the RBI gets. So this is how the printing of currency also gets money to RBI at times. So this is how. So 1, 2 and 5 is the right answer. So the option should be option D here, 1, 2 and 5. So this is all we had from the economy part. As I told in the initial 11:30 when the video started, I told you economy little tricky, few calculations he wanted you to do, but the basic foundations, if somebody's foundations are clear, that person can do these calculations without much difficulty. But if you ask me, the paper was fairly economy part, IR was yes thoda, because now what is happening with respect to IR is the UPSC is asking from such a domain. As teachers, we are also worrying what to teach, till what extent to teach to the students, because when you go to the atlas and start asking questions, then there is no end to it. So that is where little challenge comes to the teachers also while teaching the IR as a subject. But few questions from BIMSTEC, bricks and all, there was some respite which came from the classroom learning. And it was very surprising that not many questions came from internal security and IR this time, though we were expecting, because of the increased tensions all across the globe, we were expecting certain questions coming. But as we all know, UPSC is UPSC. They have their own, way of thinking. So this was what economy, IR and internal security question. I'll hand over the stage to the faculty to take care of the science and technology. Around 15 questions had come from this domain. So I'm sure sir will be able to finish it off maybe another 15-20 minutes. So stay tuned. Do not go off. Take a small break. Maybe have a cup of tea. But do continue to watch this video. Thank you. Jai Hind.